Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do the second in kind of my little series of some books that I want to read in 2023. This is 6 nonfiction books that I want to get to this year. So again, as I said in my 6 books of translated works that I want to get to, these are books that I want to get into within the year. I made my list small at 6 in order to try to focus on these and maybe get them done earlier in the year than waiting and seeing if I finish them by the end. I have so many nonfiction books I'd love to get to. I picked a couple on this list that are going to be a little harder for me to read. A few of them I might be able to get an audiobook for, but most of them I'm going to have to read physically. So I put them on this list because I think I have a tendency on nonfiction to read them by audio. It just works better for me, and I can listen to them at work. It's easier because of what I'm doing than listening to a novel that I've never heard before for some reason. But anyway, some of these are nonfictions that I have to read physically. At least for sure the big one I'll start with, because this is the one I'm most excited about, but I'm also the most scared about. So as I said, these are everybody. I have so many, I don't know what everybody feels like at the beginning of the year where I want to just read everything. And so I have made many lists of books I want to read. So I have created these 3 lists that are kind of shorter at 6 to make sure that I maybe get them done, but also to try to narrow down kind of what I want to read, because I'll have some really big lists of series and some other another, the 23 and 2023 book list that I want to do that are long lists of stuff that I'd love to get to. But these I'm trying to focus more this year. I didn't read enough nonfiction, and I didn't read enough classics, and I didn't read enough translated works in 2022. So this year, these are the ones I'm going to focus on and see how it goes. So let's talk about the books that I have. So my nonfiction, the number 1 is one that I can read because I have read all of their books, and that is The Brontes. The Wild Genius on the Moors, The Story of a Literary Family by Juliet Barker. So I picked this up this year after seeing several people read it. I know Jenna at Chicky Bean Loves Books, is that what it is? Oh, I just lost her title. I'll have her link down below. But I know she read this, and I know a lot of other people have read it in the past. I just wanted to dive into a really good biography on them. The Brontes, now that I have finished all of their books. And so I picked this one, but there's like no audiobook available. So this is going to be one I'm hoping to at one point break up and read a little bit every day, or read on the weekends or something. This might be a long project. I don't expect to read this fast. I don't expect to read this straight through. I definitely think this is going to be a book that I pick up and put down during the year, just because I don't have an audiobook. So unless there's one out there now that I didn't, last I looked, there wasn't. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to learning more about them and getting more context for stuff. Now that I've read all their books, I'm not going to get spoiled for anything, which is why I hadn't let myself pick up a nonfiction on them before. So anyway, so I'm going to pick up that. And of course that book is like, over 1,100 pages. And then this one's kind of more academic, but I thought it sounded interesting, and that is The Social Life of Books, Reading Together in the 18th Century Home by Abigail Williams. I can't remember who I saw this on, and I bought this last year, I think, or early this last year anyway. And I know it's talking about how, families used to sit around and read books, and how that made things make reading become more popular and stuff, and more accessible to people. So I think it sounds interesting to be looking back at the 18th century, which I don't, as I said, I don't know a lot about that era. There's definitely classics and things I want to read more from that time period that I just haven't yet. Anyway, this one just sounds interesting. I put it on this list because it's just going to sit on my shelf unless I say, hey, I need to get to this. So I'm hoping this will help. I don't think that this is another one that I'm not sure that there's going to be an audiobook or not that I could use. But, if I find one, that's great. If not, this is, again, another one that might be a project book where I maybe take a month and just break it up and just read a little bit every day. I don't know. We'll see. This is it. I'm putting hard and easy ones on here. As you said, those are my 2 hard ones. And then I have this one, Mad and Bad, Real Heroines of the Regency by B. Cook. So this is written by one of the women who run the Ripped Bodice in LA, the bookstore there. So this is talking about Regency England, and it's talking about certain women, during that time, that things that happened and stuff. I don't know anything beyond that. I've been wanting to read this for quite a few times. I forgot I got it actually from there. So I got a little sticker in it, which I forgot. And I think there was a bookmark. And then there's the Ripotas. I must have bought it from there. That's fine. Anyway, so the point is that I think I bought this when it came out, which I think was 2021, but I'm not positive. But I've had it on my shelf for a little. I meant to read it this year and I just didn't get to it. No, 2020. So I've had this for 2 years. So anyway, that's why I want to get to this. I'd love to read it before July, for Jane Austen July, but that might be when I read it. But anyway, I'm hoping to get to it before that. It's not super long, and it just sounds fascinating. So anyway, then I have a true crime book, A Murder at Teal's Pond by David Bushman and Mark T. Givens. So this one I picked up because Amazon told me that the tagline says that it's Hazel Drew and the mystery that inspired Twin Peaks. And if you guys know, I love Twin Peaks. It was like my favorite TV show of all time. So anything that kind of inspired that, I'm kind of interested in. So I do like to read true crime every once in a while, not very often anymore. I used to read it a lot more, and so now I just pick up ones that that I come across that I want to read. And this one just sounded interesting because this is talking about 1908, and this young woman was found in a pond, and she had been beaten to death. And so I think it talks about what happens. I don't even remember. I don't know if they ever figured out the ending. So I'm not quite sure how this works. So we'll see. But I've been wanting to get to that, so I put it on here so that I would get to it. Then I have a tendency to buy books on maps. And I haven't bought any recently, but I still have several on my TBR. So I would like to read at least one this year. So Off the Map by Alistair Bonnet is feral places and what they can tell us about the world. So this one is talking about, it says, like forgotten places on the map, that hidden corners of our world, and it just talks about different places that not everybody knows about. So it does actually say where things are and where that you can look them up, like on Google and stuff, to see where they are. But like it says here, lost places, invisible cities, forgotten islands, as I said, feral places. I just think I love maps and things to do with maps. And I've read several books on different kinds of maps. And this was just one of the ones I've picked up over the years from pals, just probably when I had credit, and I just picked up some interesting books. So I do want to get to this one to at least get another one of my map books off my TBR. And the last one is The Invention of Nature, The Adventures of Alexander van Humboldt. The Lost Hero of Science by Andrea Wolf. So I heard really good things about this when it came out, talking about Humboldt, and I know there's a county up in California that was called that. So I always heard that name and stuff. But I believe he's a naturalist. So and he did stuff. So I don't know. And if I bought this book, and I guess it was a winner of the Costa award in 2015. So I just remember seeing people read this quite a few years ago, and it's been on my shelf. And as I said, I wanted to pick up at least one nature book. So this is the one I decided on. There was quite a few I could have picked, but this one I thought would be interesting. So I picked that up. So these are the 6 nonfiction books. Oh, geez, I am not good at this whole lifting thing. I don't know how you guys do it. These are the 6 nonfiction books that I'd like to get to within 2023. I'm really looking forward to all of them for different reasons. And hopefully I can get to most of them. I don't promise that I'll finish the Bronte book, but I'm going to give it a shot. I really want to read that book. So, and the rest of them I want to read for different reasons. And as I said, I'm going to try to insert more nonfiction into my reading, because I think this last year, I just let that fall to the wayside until the end of the year. And on the last couple months of the year, I did really well in reading nonfiction, especially with Nonfiction November, of course. But it was like I forgot I had nonfiction. So I want to definitely add these in, and I have so much more I could read as well, either by audiobook or or physically. So, you know, I have options. So anyway, that's it. Are you guys reading any nonfiction that you want to pick up this year? Are any of these that I should pick up sooner rather than later? Let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.